Good morning, good morning, good morning to all the good people out there. This isn't going to be a very, very long one today, but I figure I'd bring you some news on these tariffs, how they started, how they originated, what it's about, what to look forward to, and why they said they weren't putting troops on the border, but now Mexico and Canada is sending 10,000 troops apiece. So this is the first video we're going to get into. Barbie, good morning. Hey, man, as long as I know your spirit. Thank you, though, for stopping by. I appreciate you. Let's check this video out.
My name is Staff Sergeant Zarola. I'm with the California National Guard Counter Drug Task Force, and I'm a squad leader for the Drug Demand Reduction Outreach Program. We're at Fontana Middle School, and we're teaching Operation Prevention. And we're here because the school asked us to come out because there's been a problem with vaping, and last year they lost a student to overdoses. We're all here because we're passionate about helping students and helping the future generation. So DDRO is really an amazing program, and we're really here for the students and for the future.
This is what the tariff thing is about. It's not about goods and services. Rabbits and Chaos, good morning. What it's about is stopping fentanyl and getting these countries to do their worth. So let's look at this because this says it all. And what Chad, let me tell you something. Who William McKinley was. I don't know if you guys who knew he was, but he was like tariff guy in chief.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charles Payne, and this is Making Money. Guess what we're going to do today? We're going to take a stroll down memory lane, tariff memory lane. As the great Robert Frost would say, it genuinely is the road less traveled. You hear a lot about it, but you don't hear the facts about it. And let's just talk about most people, in fact, when it comes to history, this is the first historian. Think about this. Most people, in fact, will not take the trouble in finding out the truth, but are much more inclined to accept the first story that they hear. Thucydides said this. And this is what we're hearing over and over again, the wrong story. So I'm going to talk specifically about, we had McKinley, right? In the McKinley era, that was absolutely phenomenal. But I'm going to specifically talk about 1920. In 1921, the public was clamoring. They were begging, demanding for higher tariffs, right? Why? We had these new industries, the automobile and things like that. They wanted to protect that. The economy was coming on. Our way of life was changing. We had the Emergency Tariff Act of 1921. That was followed by the Fortney-McCumber Act of 1922. And there were two specific principles, right? The scientific principle, this linked wages to the exporting country, right? In effect, let's say China has cheaper labor than us. This made sure that this negated the fact that a country would have cheap labor. Then there was the American selling price. I love this one. If a product got here from a foreign country and it was cheaper than Americans, well, guess what? They made it more expensive. And by the way, the Fortney-McCumber Act, those tariffs were the highest in history. They averaged 40%. Some, though, went as high as 400%. So what was the result? Let's talk about that for a moment, right? So the result of this act, one result was an increase in spending by top tiers of American people, right? Americans had money. They weren't in a foxhole. The American people, they were taxed less. Remember, all of what President Trump is doing also involves lower taxes. They were taxed less, so they had more money to spend on American goods. What is meant by protectionism? It's an economic policy of the 1920s, it was essential to trim the way to trim federal expenses. What are we trying?
See, listen, what was one of the results of the Fortney-McCumber tariff? Fortney-McCumber tariff has increased the spending of the top tiers of American people. But see, our tariffs with other countries, number one, the tariffs on China were not even taken off. They're still there because we made so much money. Number two, I mean, every deal that we have, go to Europe. Do you see American cars? No. Do you see foreign cars here? Yes. We get railroaded. We get taxed on everything.
Trying to do now. We're trying to shrink the government. We're trying to bring it down. It's too big. It's too bureaucratic. If the deficit is too high, we're spending $1 trillion a year just to service that beast. And the way to do it was through these tariffs. And so these tariffs are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, they sparked something that we now commonly call the Roaring '20s. Right? Look at this.
Pay attention, guys. They talk about tariffs, but when we did this, look at this. Look at the Dow. Look all the way up to, I think, 1930 something.
Okay, so tariffs are bad. How could they be bad? We were going down here. This is the stock market. It was going down. We had the Emergency Tariff Act. Then we had the Fort Norman Tariff Act. And then, bam, 500% climb in the stock market. Absolutely phenomenal. In fact, tariffs are working so well. Herbert Hoover, who was running for president, decided to make it a central part of his theme. But he specifically wanted to help American farmers. Now, here's the problem. The plan was hijacked, okay? The tariff schedule was flooded from the industrial sector. So, yeah, we were going to help the American farmer, and then everyone jumped on board. Still, they went into effect. We all know it now as the Smoot-Hawley Act. Went into effect March 13th, 1930. So what happened, right? I mean, every time someone comes on TV, they say, remember Smoot-Hawley? Inflation's going to go through the roof. You think prices skyrocketed back then? Absolutely not. In fact, it was the most extraordinary deflationary spiral in American history. This is it. This is Smoot-Hawley, folks. The 1930s
deflation, 1930, right after the Depression. Remember that?
Inflation. It wasn't inflation. Prices went down. They didn't go up. So it's really, every time someone comes on and says prices are going to go up, look at Smoot-Hawley. I looked at it. So let's fast forward. President Trump's first term in office, he implemented these tariffs, right? So you go back 2018, here you have the yellow line. That's inflation for us, personal consumption. Inflation goes down, the blue line, tariffs go up. The only time inflation went up was COVID. That was the response to COVID, folks. This had zero to do.
Yeah, that inflation, they always blame Trump for that. Nothing to do with Trump, man. That was the pandemic.
With tariffs. Now, I know Wall Street and the financial media, they're slavishly just committed to short-term corporate profits, right? Here's the problem. We cannot win the future, right? If everything we measure is measured in quarterly times, right? Not every 90 days. That's the corporate sector. The bottom line, it's time for a longer game, for longer prosperity for all Americans. That's the true story about tariffs. That's the story you need to learn is ignore what you hear of financial media or anyone else. Now, of course, there were three things that we've always had with these big periods of
now pay attention, guys, to these three things.
Prosperity, tariff, tough immigration policies, and emerging technology. It has to come from American technology dominance. And of course, we know this week it took a real serious blow with the unveiling of DeepSeek. So I want to show you, last Friday, the Mag 7 stocks were trading really nice and high and big. And of course, they got hammered on Monday. And I had a chart for it, but it vanished. So we fast forward to today, and Michael Hartnett at Bank of America just published a note, and it read that in part, U.S. exceptionalism has peaked. He talks about tailwinds and spending. He talks about immigration in a negative way. Again, this is Wall Street saying, hey, you know what? The bubble is fading. Investors all in on American exceptionalism. Now they're missing all kinds of great opportunities elsewhere. You should be investing in Japan. You should be investing in Europe because the American exceptionalism is out. Our dominance in technology is over. Well, I don't agree.
You know, to be honest, I don't agree either. But what I do agree with is to know that they're yeah, no, he's right though, Stephen, because the tariffs, look at this with William McKinley. Here we go. Let me read this to you. The Tariff Act of 1890, commonly called the McKinley Tariff, was an act of the United States Congress framed by the Representative William McKinley that became law on October 1st, 1890. The tariff raised the average duty on imports to almost 50%, an increase designed to protect domestic industries and workers from foreign competition as promised in the Republican platform. It represented protectionism, policy supported by Republicans and denounced by Democrats. It was a major topic. See, they didn't even get it back then, Democrats. It was a major topic of fierce debate in 1890 congressional elections, which gave a Democrat landslide. Democrats replaced the McKinley tariff with the Wilson-Gorman Tariff Act of 1894, which lowered tariff rates. And how did that work out for us? Come on, man. Some of our best times prospering. After 450 amendments, the Tariff Act of 1890 was passed and increased the average duties across all imports from 38 to 49%. McKinley was known as the Napoleon Protection. and rates were raised on some goods and lower on others, always in an attempt to protect American manufacturers' interests. Changes in duties to specific products such as tin plates and wool were the most controversial ones and were emblematic uh, of the spirit of the tariff 1880. The act eliminated tariffs altogether on certain items with the threat of reinstatement of an enticement to get other countries to lower their tariffs on uh, imported from the U.S. The act removed tariffs on sugar, molasses, tea, coffee, and hides, but all thought hides. You know what that is, leather. The president to reinstate the tariffs as if the items were exported from the countries that treated U.S. exports in a reciprocally unequal, and unreasonable fashion. And that's what's going on here, man. It's the same thing. The trade's not fair, but they're bitching about that. Now let's look at this, because they said this wasn't going to happen too, right? They said, "Oh no, Trump, you're crazy with tariffs, Mexico and Canada. We're not doing nothing to help the U.S." Yeah, okay. That's why they had to pause it. All right, I'll be down in a minute. All right, give me a minute.
The Mr. Cool DIY is the only DIY heat pump.
Trump has the world's attention now. He came through on a campaign promise, hitting Canada, Mexico, and China with tariffs to protect Americans from the flow of illegal immigrants and fentanyl in this country. And we can now report Mexico and Canada are leaning into Trump's art of the deal. The president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, spoke to Trump and is saying she will send 10,000 Mexican military to their side of the southern border.
Kingston, hope you have a good morning, brother.
Left behind by the Biden-Harris administration. Trump says they agreed to pause any tariffs for 30 days. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus.
Before we get into that, man, you guys got to understand something, that this is I mean, look what the Dow Jones has done, right? Don't worry about that. Don't worry about none of that. And look at this U.S. aid. They're like all this money going for transgender stuff and all this other stuff.
Shipped the next day when ordered by mail.
To me, it's crazy. But at the end of the day, you got to understand how this country works. We get taken advantage from every other country, and it's the truth, man. People don't want to talk about it. They like to say Trump's crazy, but he's caring about us. He cares about us in our country, man, and how we're going to do it. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, me and Kingston even talked about this before. It's refreshing to see a country put us first and not put us behind. How come Mexico and Canada didn't put 10,000 troops there before? I know why. Because Biden didn't know what to do. Hold on. Seriously, man, this is like refreshing from the last presidency to this. Lee Lance, hope you're feeling good. Yeah, but here's the good thing about that stuff, Kingston, that I don't know if you knew. You probably do. But what we're doing to Zelensky, we're going to keep sending him money, but he's got to give us minerals back. All that stuff, lithium in the ground, magnesium, all that stuff, platinum, whatever. He's got to sign all that over. My father's still in the hospital, man. Well, that's what it's a war on, Kingston. This whole thing's a war on fentanyl. It's not a war on friggin' tariffs, man. They've been abusing us for too long. And all you people out there Now I'm going to say something I'm probably going to catch a lot of flack for, but I don't give a crap. All you people out there, Democrats, that said Joe Biden, this guy didn't do shit. He let Americans die on his watch. He let these cartels run the border. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if Trump sends that Delta Force in against the cartels, it's a wrap for them, man. Yeah, hopefully we can get him home today. He's got to do this surgery, but it's too what's the name? Oh, we got a lot to cover. I'm not even done yet, but let's see. Hold on. Just listen to the man himself, man. Hook Dog, hope you're having a great day. Yeah, I know. I hope you're all right, brother. My dad's a fighter. Even the doctor said yesterday, how are you still alive? Because it's God's will, man. That's what everybody forgets. All these people, put these people up here, man. God is the ultimate decider.
Is there any chance that Canada or China could also get out of the tariffs after you struck a deal with Mexico?
Well, nobody's out with Mexico. We had a great talk with Mexico, and we had President Sheinbaum is a woman. I like her very much. We've had good relationships, but we have to stop fentanyl from coming in, whether I like somebody or not, and we have to stop the illegal aliens from coming in. I think we've lost 200,000 people on average a year for many years, much higher than the 100,000. Could be even closer to 300,000.
And they always say he's wrong and say he does this to the numbers to this. Listen, man, he's right.
They've agreed to put in 10,000 soldiers permanently, like forever, 10,000 soldiers at their side of the border and stop fentanyl and illegal aliens from coming into our country. They have a big incentive to do. Other than that, we've agreed to talk and consider.
Well, why didn't Biden do that? Because he don't have a clue. He didn't have a clue.
Various
his staffers were running it.
There's other things. We haven't agreed on tariffs yet, and maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we have a very good relationship. I also spoke with Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada, and we had a good talk in the morning, but I did ask him a couple of questions, like, banks aren't allowed to do business in Canada. Canada is very tough. Canada is very, we're not treated well by Canada, and we have to be treated well.
We do have to be treated well. Not only that, people got to take it seriously, man. Gangster, you ready for this? Another one that's going on today. Come on, man. Why couldn't Biden do this? They told us none of this stuff could happen. Come on, people. We got to get serious with this stuff.
Panama's president, Jose Raul Mulino, announced on Sunday that he would...
First, he told us to grow screw ourselves. Then, all of a sudden, they're taking all that they had China in the Panama Canal that we sold. Jimmy Carter sold for $1. It was the most expensive project we ever built. But the Panama Canal, who was subjected to China's ultimate try to take over, all the signs around were not in Spanish. They were in Chinese. They were taking that all down. Let's listen.
Would end a key development deal with China following a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio amid concerns raised by President Donald Trump. Mulino confirmed that the country would not renew a 2017 Memorandum of Understanding to participate in China's Belt and Road Global Development Initiative.
Tuvimos una reunión altamente respetuosa y cordial con el secretario de Estado, invitándonos a la construcción de un futuro en la relación de Panamá con los Estados Unidos en temas que nos son muy importantes a ambos países y en algunos que para Panamá es más importante que para los Estados Unidos.
Midnight Blue, I hope she's all right.
Yo diría que los temas más importantes tratados fueron los inherentes a el Tratado del Canal en función de lo que ha mencionado el presidente Trump de la presencia china. En este sentido, hice las voces de descargo, abriendo, por supuesto, las consideraciones para que el equipo técnico del canal con el que Estados Unidos designe conversen al respecto y puedan aclarar todo.
But Kingston, remember why they didn't want to do with the fentanyl, man? Because to be honest, population control. Look at Biden, all the shit he did, man. For real. Like, I mean, look at this, man. Who else? Did Biden ever talk like this to China?
For the most comfortable, luxurious.
Now, we had another big thing. Speaking of China, China's involved.
Allegedly, hope you're having a beautiful day.
They won't be for long. And that's the way it has to be. Marco just got back, as you know. He's in the process of coming back. I guess he's almost back by now. And he had a very long conversation with the leader of Panama, the respected man, and some others, the entire leadership group. And we're trying to work a deal on the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal was given foolishly years ago to, it shouldn't have been happened, years ago to Panama, like Jimmy Carter and the group. We lost 38,000 people building the Panama Canal, like one of the great wonders of the world. It's the biggest job we've ever built, the biggest project we've ever built in this country, dollar-wise and every other way. 38,000 people died, Americans, all men, just about, laborers and construction people. They went to Panama. The mosquito got them. Between mosquito and snakes, we lost 30. $38,000 people. It was the most expensive project ever built by the United States. The biggest, most expensive project we ever built. 110
Steven,
years.
thank you for that.
Up to now, it would have been.
Thank you, Hoop Dog. I appreciate you.
The most expensive we.
What I'm saying is, I don't give a father mucking about anybody who likes what I have to say. I don't care who likes if I like Trump or if I don't. Because let me tell you something, me and Kingston have experienced on here in 3 years in our friendship, and all yous have the same. We got a president that cares about drugs, cares about violence. Look, and here's where the sad part goes, because all these so-called tough guys on the internet and fake ass bikers were like, oh, no snitching. No, don't snitch. Never snitch on nobody. But what are you supposed to do your whole life? Live yourself like you're a teenager and in your 20s and be doing shit in the street that kids do? Like, you all grow up to change and be better. But the fentanyl doesn't let you do that. The fentanyl takes your life. And it's not fair, because all these people that's getting entangled with this, most of the dudes, look, I was working, proud to be an American, damn straight. I was working in North Philly one time, and I seen this kid going around in this car, and I seen him stopping at every single corner. And I was like, yo. And so he comes in the store, and I see him driving his hoopty, but I could tell he was the man in the hood. So I said, yo, brother, let me ask you something. Like, I don't care what you do. I'm not a cop. I showed him I had a joint in my pocket. I said, but I got to ask you, whatever you do. I don't know this guy. Remember that. And I said, yo, I see you sticking and moving. I said, I don't know what you're doing. It's none of my business. But if it's that Fetty Wap, that's going to be bad for you. He said, bad for me? What are you talking about? He said, yo, cuz, don't you understand? Now, I think he's a Fed anyway, because nobody can operate like that. He pays $4,000 a kilo for fentanyl. Do the math. $4,000 a key to make back 200 grand, maybe 250. I mean, come on. You think these people care? All the pills that are pressed and going around, that's all from the feds. That's why I don't like the rat thing, because the people who inform Then they get a license to sell drugs and sell that shit. And then the government pays them and holds their back. If you get jammed up with anything you ever did in your life, the only way you learn is to take that hit and move on. People say protect your family. Everybody knows what they're doing in the street, man. Whether you're a biker, a gangster, street guy, gang member, mafia, whatever you choose life to go, you know what comes with that. But then all of a sudden it's, oh no, they didn't have my back. No. Like in the words of Joe Molino says all the time, man, they didn't catch God until they put the cuffs on. To me, if you love God and you're a Christian, you have to care about other people. You can't say you're a Christian and say, oh, F this guy. I don't care who overdoses. I don't care about fentanyl. This is very personal to me, this fight. I love our president for taking on this fight. And I'm going to tell you another thing that he's going to do too. You don't understand. Let me finish this because this is big, man. Let me start it over. China's blowing fentanyl right through that Panama Canal. Enough too.
Will be dealt with. And we didn't give that to China. We gave it to Panama. We shouldn't have given it to Panama. But Panama, as you know, has violated the agreement, totally violated the agreement. So that's in the process right now.
Good. Let's get that back. If you want to know what I'm screaming at, I'm going to tell you what I'm screaming at. Yesterday, I replaced the drain pump in my washer. Obviously, that didn't work. So I don't know. There's something stupid, clogged drain or hose. But the guy tells me that I didn't show up for the visit. This dude shot out. I waited till 7 o'clock at night. The guy never showed. He never called me back. Nothing. So of course, you know, my family, they always think I'm talking crap. We do need this kind of leadership, man. Fentanyl, man. Look, drugs hits all of us. That's why I do it, Steven. That's why my show is not full of drama and bullcrap and people, you know, going after people. Many people went after me, but if you're not saying nothing in my face, it don't matter because I don't fear no man but God. I'm not saying I'm a tough dude. I'm just saying I'm not a bitch either. So to me, live your life and do positive things. That's why I coached 23 years. I made a difference in community. A lot of people do too. A lot of you guys do. A lot of us just want our kids to be safe, not go to a party. And if somebody wants to experiment with something, they get fentanyl for the first hit. No, that's not cool, man. Hey, Miss Lance. Damn, bro. For real? Oh, yeah. Hey, Hook Dog, Hot Dog, Hook Dog. How about what they did the other day with Bernie Sanders? We found out he's the biggest one. You want to see that exchange? Look, I'm not, some of us did sell drugs in our day, but I would never sell that shit. I sold weed and shit. I would never sell nothing that was harming people. I mean, maybe over time it was harming somebody, but not the kids. Me either. Thank you, Hoop Dog. You know what? It's a good dude. Thank you for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. But please, our Eagles got a game this Sunday. Hardwire's even rooting for them. Shout out to Hardwire. But, you know, to me, it's like the fentanyl is so disgusting. The trank is so disgusting. They tried to clean it up down here in Kensington. Yeah, watch. I want to show you this, bro. Check this out. Let me see something. Guys, this is classic. This is what we need, man. Kangsty, you ready for this? Check this out. Guys. Hook Dog, this for you, brother. The biggest fraud, Mr. Bernie Sanders. I'm for the people. Oh, little donations. You lying son of a gun. Look at this.
Countries are. It's a simple question. And by the way, Bernie, the problem of corruption is not just in the federal agencies, it's in Congress too.
Real quick, before he says this, if you guys didn't know, he's been in recovery for 16 years off heroin. I mean, for real, like, and look what he's trying to do. He's trying to save America with health and know what you have to do when you mess your life up for so long, how you got to get it back and the things you have to do. And like Steven said, one of the main things you have to do when you change your life to be a better person is treat others with respect. It's not about kissing ass. It's about respect, man.
Almost all the members of this panel are accepting, including yourself, are accepting millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry. And protecting their interests.
Oh, I thought that would no. I ran for president like you.
Gosh,
I got millions and millions of contributions. They did not come from the executives, not one nickel of PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. They came from workers.
2020. In 2020, you were the single largest
because I had
pharmaceutical money.
Look at them trying to maneuver
from
out of this
workers
shit.
all over this country. Workers, not a nickel from corporate.
I know you got me already.
Pharmaceutical dollars.
No, from workers in
1.5 million.
Yeah, out of 200 million. All right, but you have not answered last question. You have not answered my question,
man, because the Lord, man.
How do we make America healthy if you don't guarantee health care?
We're literally 3 minutes over here now.
Well,
how long does it keep going? At some time, you're just battering the witness.
Not battering the witness.
Yes, you are. And you're getting upset at him. You're going at him just like anybody else would.
You know, that guy was great. I forgot his name, but he really came to his aid. You know what I heard yesterday too? I wanted to tell you guys because you know the health. I'm going to start doing shows like that again too. But one of the main things is 20 years sober. I thought he was like 16. Still, God bless him. Stephen, they say that a lot of things are beneficial to building stem cells. Number one is cacao. You know, the chocolate from the fruit, whatever that thing is. They say it's very good. We do have an awesome guy. See, this is what this show's about. This show's never been about me. This is all power and glory to the man upstairs. That's why that's why a lot of people don't come here, because when you have the reflection, you got to look in the mirror and you see people talking about the Lord and the devil's trying to do his work. That doesn't work over here. I'm not saying we're perfect. I'm just saying that what we're doing over here is positive vibes. We're trying to have this little family thing going on, man, and everybody, you know, having each other's back. Yeah, please get that check. Hooray for Steven. My good friend. I'm so proud of you. I love you guys talking about God and the Lord, man. I don't care if there was two people in here. You guys talk about the Lord and God, all the stuff that I respect and serve, man. That means a lot to me. That's why I always say, stay blessed, not stressed. Give it to God. Let him handle the rest, because without him, we're nothing, man. And that's what a lot of people can't do. You know, a lot of people can't humble themselves and understand that God is the ultimate. We're just vessels, man. But at the end of the day, it's what you do with the vessel. Now, most of us can just talk a bunch of game. Most of us can be disrespectful. Some of us can really try to do good things, even if your good things that you're doing are not acknowledged. You know, don't give up. You still do good things. Now, if you feel like you're wasting your time, then obviously move on. But remember, man, not everybody gets everything right away, especially for addicts. It takes most people 7 years to get clean. And addiction is not just about drugs, man. There's so many different stages. The bottom line is when an addict is an addict and they're having a hard time, I mean, it's tough on them. It's tough on us, tough on families, tough on friends. But, you know, there's still people. We're all people. We're all God's children, man. And if we make mistakes in life, you got to right the wrongs, man. And however you feel, this war that's going on right now with Trump, with Mexico and Canada, they're abusing our country. They want America to fall so they can have, you know, the top dog. China can take over. You know, Russia will never be able to do that. But even the Ukraine war, Trump said we're taking the minerals. Why not? You ever hear Biden say this? No, we just give and give and give. I mean, you got gold, you got silver, you got everything, man. Hold on. There we go. This is one of the best ones I like. I hope you guys understand this. This means a lot for us because the tariffs, look, man, the strongest we ever were tariffs in the country when we were running tariffs. Then McKinley, he just made in Alaska, Mount McKinley back. They took that apart. Listen, we sold Panama Canal for $1. It was the biggest project the United States ever built. And China they had Chinese signs all over there. Panama, they broke the agreement. The agreement was, we'll give this to you for $1. You run us one of the biggest, transportation hubs in the world. But when you see that, you say to yourself, what the hell's going on? How is this going for $1 and then China's running it? Well, now Panama's taking it back. But this is a very big event right here. This is a big discovery, man, that Biden could never think of this. Mike Ball, what's up, brother?
They have very valuable rare earth.
Hope you have a good morning.
What we put up to go in terms of a guarantee. We want a guarantee. We're handing them money hand over fist. We're giving them equipment. European is not keeping up with us. They should equalize. And look, we have an ocean in between. They don't.
What's he saying other than the truth? There's an ocean in between us. We have everything going over here, homeless, veterans, all this other stuff, depression, everything going on in this country. And we're the world's police, man. It's just, this is not somebody trying to do anything but make it fair. And that's the problem. How can we support all these other presidents? I watched a documentary. And what was that movie about? There was a movie about the Bush era. And I think it's Fair Game. It's a great movie about she was a CIA reporter, a CIA operative, and her husband was Joe Wilson, and he did some stuff that they thought was shady. They were calling him a communist, Democrat, whatever. But she went over, they gave out her information, they doxed her. Later down the line, they were trying to jam her up, wreck her life, tell her she never worked for the CIA. Then they had to recant that, and the guy who originally did it came out and admitted it.
More important for them than it is for us, but they're way below us in terms of money, and they should be paying at least equal. They should really be paying much more than us, but let's say equal to us, and they're billions and billions of dollars below. So we're looking to do a deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earth and other things.
Well, Kingston, that's one of the biggest things with the tariffs that people don't understand. I mean, how could the tariffs hurt you? Let me just show you this, because I can tell you more. I can show you more than I can tell you. Hold on. Here we go. This to me is ridiculous. All right, Mike, have a great morning, bro. Be careful hopping around like that. Mike's a good dude, man. Check him out, 11 o'clock. Here you go. Look at this, man. Hold on. So this is us, right? Get this out. In a year, U.S. tariff surge far past advanced economies. Look at this. Brazil, 8.6. United States, 7.5. India, 5.8. Saudi Arabia, 4.9. China, 3.8. Russia, 3.6. 3.5. 2.5. 1.8. Hold on, give me one. All right. I'm coming. Yes. Remember that? Remember that? The 5G? That's crazy. All right. I gotta get running, man. I gotta make some calls. I gotta call my dad and see if he's gonna get the surgery. But I just wanted to come today and I wanted to say to all the people out there, addicts, everybody ever been affected by fentanyl, God bless you and your families, man. Now, you know what? They say you should never question God, Lee, but you're normal, bro. You got people like me who's going to put that word in for you. God knows your heart, brother. You're a good dude. But I do got to run, and I hate to run like this, but I do have to get some stuff done. Mike Ball's on after this, man. I always start around 9 o'clock, but I'm going to try to change it a little bit. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Go Eagles. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll be back on Sunday. I'm going to do something for the game. But I want you guys to stay blessed, not stressed, man. Give it to God. Let him handle the rest. I really mean it, man. To anybody's ever been affected by drugs, fentanyl, I mean, believe me, this is the president you want for that. I don't care about personality. What do I care about that? I see what the guy does. He's done more in 2 weeks than Obama and Biden did in 12 years. For all that matter, he did more than Bush. Bush took us in Iraq. We didn't even have a problem with them. Yeah, let me know, brother. I got to go. Everybody have a blessed day, man. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless.